Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all for another Spirituality Thursday. So good to see you, Nana Kit. Good to see you, everybody. Bard. Hoy, hoy, everybody. I still love that greeting. It's a great one. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone has been having a good week. We're going to be diving into a new game today for Spirituality Thursday, and hopefully we're actually sticking with this one for a while. Last two have kind of been one-offs. But I was looking at the Bible, Exodus, and I was thinking, do I want to play this again? I said no for two reasons. One, it's just a lot of reading. Just made it tough to stream. And two, we were also really close to the end, so it's like, I only have like a little bit left. So you didn't realize you had Chants of Sennaar until the Steam trading card idler happened on Tuesday. Well, there you go. Well, I've heard good things about this game. It's kind of it's a riff on the story of the Tower of Babel. So the story of Tower of Babel, I'm sure y'all are aware of it, but in Genesis, there's the story of humanity building a tower and trying to get to the heavens and be equal with God, and God punishes humanity by knocking everyone down and making them all speak different languages. And so this is a game kind of built around language diversity and barriers, as I understand it. So I'm excited. So let's dive in. Pulling out freeze-dried bananas and putting in pineapples. Ooh, nice. Empty slot. Would you like to play new game or new game? Is that a sarcophagus? Is that a sarcophagus or is that a VR unit? Oh, look. It's us. We were in there, I guess? We were made? One of top 2 about understanding Konglangs. What on earth is the second? Oh, that audio, though. I've had that running for 2 days, and it's only gone through half of my unplayed games. Nice. Oh, Steam. And Humble Bundles. But, yeah, hear that echo on the footsteps? That is some good sound design. Making my way downtown. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, that's right. The one, the archaeologist reconstructing the ruins. I have seen that game. Am I wearing my clogs? No, but my character sure is, apparently. Aha. The journal will record all the glyphs you discover. Press Y to open it. You can open it by selecting Y on a text directly. Okay. When you think you have guessed the meaning of the glyph, select it and use the annotation button to open your hypothesis. Okay. So there are 3 symbols here. Oops. I think the C with the upside down T is door, because that's on both of them. So top would probably be close, because the door is currently closed. Or lock. Could be locked. Ooh, or is it open? Okay, so the door is currently unlocked. Nope. No, there we go. That's what I was trying to view. Huh. It just redoes that. It's locked. top is door open, but I'm not sure because see the diamond pattern on the side? It's correlating to that, so maybe it's like neutral and activate. Because it's pulling down the lever again will close it. I'm going to say this is door. Yes. No, I know that. Oh, why did I annotate? There we go. I'm going to say this is door for now. We'll come... The diamond is next to the lever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the diamond's not one of the letters that we can transcribe. Good question, Bree. I'm generally... I mean, I don't mind a little bit of help when I ask chat, but, you know, I'm also a verbal processor, which can get confusing because it's like... It can seem like I'm asking for help, and I'm sorry if I lead John. Okay, so we can see what's interactable there. And, you know, for now, I'm still just, like, open to exploring. One thing you've heard mentioned on the Lord of the Spirits podcast, the Orthodox priests talking about weird stuff in the Bible, is the connecting of the story of Babel to the Bronze Age collapse, defined by a breakdown of communication and trade networks, which spanned a huge area of fragmenting major civilization to smaller nations. If you keep your chat shut. Very funny. Okay, so that was the first symbol, which... Hey, Joshua Mary, good to see you. Yeah, it's really interesting, Brayherd. I had not heard that, but that's kind of makes sense in some ways. And, you know, a lot of the Bible, especially the early Bible, is kind of a culture making sense of itself. You know, like the fact that there's flood narratives in other ancient Near Eastern societies kind of implies that maybe there was some sort of flood event, and that's kind of... It's just different ways of making self known. So I'm thinking, based on this, yeah, look at that, solving puzzles. So based on that, I'm guessing that the C one is open, after all, and the one that's kind of like a phi or a... Oh, what's that symbol in Ethiopian? The W sound. Giz? Yep. I studied Giz back in seminary. I still have some knowledge of it, but like... Oh, there's a test. Oh, okay, so it's not open-close, it's lock-unlock. But yeah, the W is kind of... It's kind of like that, except the two boxes would have a space in between them with a bar connecting them across the top. Wait, which one am I modifying? Unlock. What's significant about it is the main liturgical language and theological language of the Ethiopian Orthodox and Ethiopian Catholic traditions. It is also... Okay, close, open. I was right the first time, but it did accept the parallels. And there's a lot of interesting biblical and parabiblical apocrypha recorded in Ethiopian. So, listen to that water. The sound design in this game is amazing. I love it. No, I'm not Coptic. I'm Roman, but I just have an interest in the General East. And also, I don't know what you're saying. And it helps for ecumenical dialogue, actually. So like, that's kind of why I did it. Was like, oh, maybe I'll use this one day in ecumenical dialogue. It hasn't happened yet, but still happy I did it. Ethiopia is a fascinating country. Sad to see recent civil war. Repeated news of massacres, historic churches, and vehicles. Yeah. Yeah, there's some complicated stuff going on.
Oh.
Something open door. I'll open the door? That could have been first person singular.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna write that in. But the Ethiopian church is really fascinating. And it's like... from its liturgy to its... so I guess that would be you. No? Maybe this is you? But they have what they call the Lalibela churches, which are... Okay, greetings, you, I, okay. Yeah, the Ethiopian church actually uses Enoch as scripture. And the only fully extant text from beginning to end of the whole of of Enoch is in Ethiopian. So I'm guessing those little orbs are word reminders that I can replay. So I'm gonna think this one's gate. I don't know what that other one is, so we'll just keep going for now.
Hey.
Yes. You open the door. Yes, I will open the door.
Oh.
Me. So that's not you, that's... Maybe that's walk?
Uh-huh.
So now it's you, closed door. So this is not you, this...
Uh-huh.
So there are actually already what's called Uniate churches. So there is a Ethiopian Catholic and a Coptic Catholic church. And I believe typically with those, they still follow the common Roman canon, but I'm sure that as spiritual reading, those other books might still be retained, much in the same way that, like, the Ordinariate of the Anglican Rite maintains its use of the Book of Common Prayer. Oh, you're gonna Rotterdam? Well, today is the feast of Saint Mark. Cool dude. writer of one of the Gospels. Exactly what order they're written in is actually disputed by scholars. Generally, Mark's considered to be the first, but anyway, the thing we do know about Mark is, man, he wants to get to the crucifixion so quickly. Like, the word suddenly and things like, and then Jesus went, appear so much in the Gospel of Mark. He was a man on the move. He wanted people to get to the crucifixion quickly because that was so central for him. He could not stop and he couldn't wait to share it. He's like, we have to share this now. And I think that's a good aspiration in many ways.
Oh.
Goodbye. Okay, so goodbye is upside, or is, no, it's the same as greetings. So greetings is, so it's kind of like how ciao in Italian is hello and goodbye. It's kind of like how the Eastern Catholic churches use the general Roman canon. Well, the Eastern Catholic churches don't use the Roman canon. They do use their liturgical rite. So, like, all the Byzantine Catholic rites do use the Divine Liturgy of John Chrysostom and Divine Liturgy of Saint Basil. The Roman canon, by its name, is what the Roman Church uses. So, there are letters here. They are all messed up. And they're missing LLSSL on its side. Ooh, hello. Am I right in understanding that the canon of Scripture lists out in Trent isn't specifically an exhaustive list, like saying you must include those books because Protestants are trying to remove some of them, but not that other books that they find in the Eastern can't be added? That is actually a great question, and I'm not 100% positive. I would hazard a guess to say that it is exhaustive, but that's a question I don't fully know the answer to, and maybe I am wrong about saying that the Eastern Uniate churches don't use certain books. I'll have to look into that. Have I heard the theory that the naked man at Jesus' arrest, mentioned only in Mark's Gospel, is Mark basically self-inserting? I have not, but I kind of love that. And that's exactly what human beings would do. Okay, so this is definitely sun. I think this is worship. Just given its context, or praise or something like that. So I'm thinking this is person, and multiple of it is people. So this would be like sun worship person. The people worship the sun. Person. Something else. Prince? Ruler? Where do you even go to learn about different church canons? I can't find much online. Any good books? You really just kind of have to find out what Eucharistic prayer or anaphora gets used. You might Google that, anaphora. I'll write that in chat real quick. That's a term in Greek that's used a bit more broadly, particularly with Eastern Rite churches, both Orthodox and Catholic traditions. So that might lead you to finding the text online, particularly for, like, the most common one's going to be the Divine Liturgy of John Chrysostom, which is a beautiful liturgy. Given that it's an L and then it's a shape, I'm thinking And it's derived, the shape is pretty derived from the sun, so I'm going to guess something like royal for now. I think that's a decent placeholder. Well, that's the biblical canon, but unfortunately we're also talking canons as in, like, I think scripture canon, or not scripture canon, sorry, Eucharistic canon. Royal, something to the sun, something. Will playing this game help you understand chat? No, nothing will help you understand chat. Good to see you, P. Tony. Something, close the door. Tall, pointy-headed people. Bad people. People with swords. Yes, something. Me. See, and I'm definitely thinking L is definitely person because it's also found in U. Bad people close door. I walk something to door. I can tell these people are different because of their hats. Wait. What am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, we're trying to outrank each other. So you're trying to flip the highest. Will you stop cheating? Ha! I win. I win again. No, I lose. I lose. I got the lowest. You cheated. Let's play again. Okay, so I don't think it's royal. I think it must mean something else. Maybe because they took a journey, I'm going to call them pilgrim? Thought I could only play Pazak on Mondays. I'll go get my Sabak deck. How about that? Please pick person. Yes! No! Also, what are these cards made of? Wood? They do have a very satisfying clunk to them. Oh, you cheated. You cheated flipping the sun there. I don't think I need to win this game, Stitcher. I think it's just teaching me the ranking. Okay, so we have 2 doors down there. That's the door we came from. So let's check out what's going on at the big door. Your guess would be clay. Ooh, good point. Nope. Call them pilgrims. Let's call these guys warrior. Good to see a clutch. Sun. Or God. It could be God. Okay, person, human, devotee is what they want to call it. God, okay. Erasure baptizes he's dripping. Boo. That was terrible.
Oh?
Oh. God, we something walk to the top. You gate us. No, that's lead? Is that lead? Oh! Your language is very different. How's the game going? It's going pretty good. We just started. We're learning these different the existence of these different languages. Step 0 has redeemed 300 bits. So for those of you who haven't seen this, I have a collection of terrible candies. And in exchange for bits, I will consume them. Wait, if you ask a question, does the candy answer? Yes. But one always lies. Ketchup candy. I hope this is better than the pizza candy. The pizza candy was awful. I had to spit it out. This is the same people. I'm not gonna lie, it smells a lot like the pizza candy. I'm scared. It smells like sweet tomato in all the wrong ways. Oh. Oh. That's not right, man. Oh. Oh. Anyway, I'm devotee. I worship God. Me, something walk God. Oh. Oh, it's so bad. It's like a glazed tomato, not like a sweet tomato. It's like a tomato that's been dipped in like donut glaze, and then you just bite into it. Meep is here to rescue me. The warriors block devotees? I'm gonna guess this is block. The worst part is it has like a slight spiciness to it. So I've actually been thinking about Meep. I wonder if Meep has actually been appearing, but just like barely, like on this side of the screen, like barely not even appearing. Oh, I had hopes for this ketchup candy to at least be tolerable. Language-related father joke. Well, isn't that all of them? No, I can't keep going on this ketchup candy. Oh. I guess since we're playing an etymology game, I should really talk about how I really get bugged when people can't figure out the difference between etymology and entomology. You know, it's just really fills me with an anger that I can't even find words for. What was your part of Father Evan's favorite stream day meet? The part where he was just disgusted at a specific candy for 3 minutes. It's good to live up to your brand. Oh, so how you doing today, Gail? Good to see you. Oh, that's pretty. You, blank, follow me. I'm pretty sure that should be follow. Back in the office, you regret it. That is valid. Especially after a week of vacation. You do not own this game. Well, you should fix that. This game is beautiful. Following you? You blank me. I think found? That would make sense. Mixed ketchup candy with mustard Skittles. Why did you have to remind me mustard Skittles exist? Oh, hello. You found me! You... Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with follow. You follow, you chase. Oh, am I playing this on PC? Beautiful score, my goodness. I'm guessing this child is this way, because we haven't been this way. Maybe not. Ooh. Oh, I'm translating here. But I don't know this other person's language. Okay, so that's... I'm on the first level. What was that center thing, though? It's... just a look. Oh, it's the glyph for sun. Those are the points to make a pyramid. Is this Fez? No, because its creator isn't a weird jerk. I hear you, child. I see you, child. You block something, you walk through. So that there's the door up there that has that same symbol. Speedruns do exist. 80%, 100%. True ending, whatever that means. American runner. Huh. Ooh. Find. Follow, I guess look, actually. Where's walk? Seek, want, find, go, pass. Hey, we did it. I mean, there are puzzles to be executed, as we've seen, so it's not all just words, but... okay. So, devotee, block something, you, me. Okay, so us. You and me, we go pass to whatever. I don't know what that circle on a stick is supposed to be. Hey, Shaunovision, thank you for the lurk. Good to see ya. Oh, okay, so that's the other side of the door we were on that we were trying to figure out how to get through. Go close to a hiding place and press the A to hide. Oh, panic! Panic! How do I get back into... Good to see you, Joshua Mayer. You take care. Aha, I ring your doorbell. I don't think they want you in there. I don't know why not. I'm a cool party dude.
There.
We block go pass. Devotee has closed the door. We look for whatever that is. I'm guessing key? That makes sense. I can rotate it. You find... You found the key. You and me... something. Continue? I don't know. I solved the luck puzzle. Bye. Okay, so we're now in the Abbey. Okay, so that's block. I'm guessing that's got to be climb, because that's what he was telling us to do. Key. Could that be free? No, that's not it. Let's revisit some of this. Maybe that squiggle's free. No, because it's already blocked. We got blocked. Let's not second guess that one. So what other symbols? Devotee, close the door. That's a key. Let's try guard, not garf. Um. Okay, that's not it. So I do think that one's block. Maybe I'll get some more context clues up here in the monastery. Or I can join the procession. Okay, so these are directions. Or, well, yes, but to what exactly is left up. But given this box around this S, and we already have something with this S, and same with this, like, L lying down, makes me think that that means the box refers to a location. So this door refers to some sort of location. Given that it looks like this, and we're thinking that means guard, that this would make sense to call this the guard house. So why don't we follow the S one and find out what that is? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, the burps of the ketchup candy are terrible. Oh. Oh. Why you do this to me, Step Zero? Now I'm extra scared of the one that's labeled mac and cheese. Kitty! Best game. For the Lulzobs. God. We worship God. So it's interesting that when it's... The verb noun order is interesting. Hey, Squirrelage, thank you for the resub. 7 months. gonna guess that's potion because it's at a store and there's 2 of it. Hello. I'm gonna guess sell musical instruments you want. Well, no, we know need want, but wait.
Huh?
Why is that like that? Nope. Maybe this is buy? That could be a question mark? Nope. Wrong button. I sell instruments. You buy? The crow has stolen something shiny, as is befitting a crow. Oh. Oh. I need to slide the one cart free with the ladder, because the tracks go over to the tree. What a cozy puzzle it is. It's also deceptively simple. As long... Getting to move that one out of the way first was actually a... well, actually... No, because that's... A non-plot related tricky to find Easter egg. Apparently, somewhere there's hidden a message in a language otherwise absent from the game that if translated points to a small village on Earth to match the coordinates of the Tower of Sennaar. Interesting. Move that all the way out. I'm sure someone in chat is probably screaming right now, no, no, not that, the other one! I've never been great at these sliding puzzles. No, no, not that, the other one! Chew her up! We're all just watching, judging. You're wrestling with your factory. You're wrestling with your cube. Cube is complicated. If it was me, I would just do it. Thanks, Gail. Thanks for the words of encouragement. Is there a reset button? Let's find out. No, it saves your progress. Or lack thereof. Oh, I think I see it. I see where I goofed. I moved this bed to the wrong side. Step 0 understood the assignment perfectly. Ooh, shiny coin. Ooh. It's got words on it. Okay, so I don't think that's buy. Well, maybe it could... Devotee seek God. Okay. Oh, I could use the coin to buy something.
Oh?
Maybe this is coin? Yeah, I think it's buy purchase. I don't think so either, but... Also, I can't do anything with the coin here. Keys. I sell pots. You want pots. Oh, okay. I see what it's doing. This, I think, is music. Because it's lacking... No? What if this is like? I sell pots. You want pots. Surely they don't want it to be like vase instead, right? Like, pot should be acceptable there.
Huh?
Hello, I sell instruments. You like music. That makes sense. So that would be people like God or God likes people.
Huh?
Okay, I can't do anything giving him the, Maybe this one's market? Because, like, we went this way and there's a bunch of stuff to buy. Gonna mark that down. I love the colors they've gone with in this game. Hole in a wall. This patient's journal trips a lot of people up because the illustration is misleading. Oh, good. Oh, he's like he's not even going to talk to you. Ah. Cemetery. Which means this is dead. You were seeking God? Something, you. Maybe that's call. It's a cool monument. God frees us. Okay. Giddy. So we have a key, a lute, a flask, and a sword. Now the warriors are going to want the sword. Not quite sure what to do with all of that yet. We'll come back to it. Oh. Give him the coin. You human. I like you. Maybe the circle's good? Kitty. God something to... I'm beginning to think that's not block. Maybe this is guard? Stop, maybe? Well, okay. I don't know. Mechanism, some device is manipulated. Okay. Okay, so we know warrior is God's highest. Devotee is second. Oh, check this out. Cemetery. Market. Not guardhouse. Gonna call it church. Hope that works. And I think this one's monastery or monk. Maybe not. Eventually, maybe, but not right away. Like, I'm cool with just still kind of exploring a little bit. Trying things out a little bit more. Don't mind me, devotees. Ooh, you know what that could be? That could be prophet. Because that's a person and then it's like the shape of worship. Monastery should be correct. Makes sense. Anyway, that could be worship. So this could be like prophet or priest. I'm going to say priest. Because there are some consistent rules. Like the little L is a person. The box is a location. Prophet, priest, or king? Hey, in baptism, why not all three? Dead. Oh, you know, I could have just put the wrong symbol down here, I think. Nope. Because that makes sense to be church, because it's God inside of a building. So what's plant? Maybe this is plant? Hey! We got there. Okay, so it's not market, it's greenhouse, garden. Oh, and then this needs to be monastery. And it goes there. Abbey. Okay. So that makes that this monk. Okay. So we have climb, ascend, block. I still don't have something representing 3. We want to worship the preacher. Don't worship the preacher. I want to seek to worship God. I want to seek to worship the preacher. No, I'll only do the first one. Me something find preachers. Okay, so that's not block. That can't be block. Is it lose? Did you lose the prophet? Well, when in Rome. The person doing block is like, they're doing a like hand out, another hand like no, no, no. Here, I'll show you. See? No, no, no. Right, but I don't think the glyph that I have is block. I think it's a different glyph. Devotee, like... Door... So plant... Maybe that's grow? If you look at the development of world religions, separation between the role of priest and king is a thing which seems to have originated in ancient Israelites. Even today, the Japanese emperor is more of a hereditary Shinto high priest than a hereditary military commander, which European kings... Yeah, that's true. That's a good insight. I was hoping I could just get caught to get thrown out. No! I just want to leave. No, you're going to go to the other side, too. I feel like I'm missing a piece of information because there's also the symbols at the top of each of these. And there's something to put here. I don't know if I'm supposed to line up the top symbol to try and figure things out, or what? See, that's not gate. That's got to be, like, help. Or it could be free. Ooh. Ooh, he's telling us where there's a key. It's in the stripy vase. You're seeking Preacher, go to the garden. Preacher likes the garden. So I think it's... looks like it's this one, maybe? Nope. It's very similar. What was that you were saying before you showed the key? I think I was just reading his text. Like, I think this is help or free. Like a plant plotter or something. Which would make sense, because it's got the S, like plant and garden. But the C would imply a container of sorts. Hey, welcome back, Joshua. This is the one that trips people up. So Preacher, something garden. I, something find Preacher. Plants are dying. I, something like plants. I don't. Oh, okay. It's the negative. Nice. Always good to go for a walk, cool oneself. Your internet just fired? Oh dear. That's a problem. go. So preacher, not in the garden. I can't find the preacher. Plants are dying. I don't like plants dying. I am doing well. Thank you for asking, Joshua. Celebrated nice mass today. Oh, area I haven't been. It was the 1-year anniversary. One of our choir members passed away 1 year ago today, so it was actually quite moving to get to celebrate the mass that was for her as the intention. It was good to see a bunch of other choir members there. Wait, what? How did that open up? Maybe this is just noise. But then, no, because I can't use it in 2 spots. You can only use 1 glyph in each translation page. Guess that's definitely no. Let's climb. I was able to receive because I accidentally ate without realizing on Sunday before Mass. So I could go out, stay out your day off, you woke up late. Oh no! Well, there's always the next Sunday, so. I like music. Fortunately, not receiving communion does not prevent you from receiving communion, unless you fail to fulfill your Easter duty, but... Potion, or medicine, I guess. Ooh. We need that for in the monastery. Is Holy Thursday part of Easter or part of Lent? It is part of neither. It's part of the Triduum, which is its own separate little season. It's shorter season than the Catholic Church being like 72 hours long, but it's kind of Lent, kind of not, but it is technically its own different thing. Something I find it in God. I'm going to the cemetery. I'll go past the monks, the preacher. Key. Hey, Omega Derpington, good to see you. Okay, so feel like that's getting me closer, because, like, calling this medicine makes sense because it's in the cabinet like that. Let's head back to the cemetery. He says headed to the marketplace. Because I have a thought. So keys. Yeah, it's the relationship between this and this that's not clear. Maybe this is make. I bet that's what throws people off on the other page. Booyah! We got there, Step Zero. I solved it. We did not need the internet to tell us. Nope, that's not it. Okay, let's head back to the cemetery for now. For real this time. Oh, you know what? That's got to be C. Which probably means that inner symbol is I. If you head to the cemetery for real, don't you end up staying? Melody sounds like it could be a Christmas song. Of course, as soon as it says that, the music stops. I will take your word for it, though. So that's the preacher over there. I thought that was a warrior earlier. So that looks like me. That looks like a devotee, and that looks like a... I think this is call. Or speak. Oh, I could definitely hear that as a little bit of Christmas music. It kind of has that Ren Fair or... I did that earlier and you said no, but okay, whatever. So we have speak, see. So we need... I guess that makes sense for like. It's got to be one of these. So we have all the symbols. We just need to put them in the right place. I didn't think that was going to work, but... You no longer have the oldest laptop at the company? Well, that's good. I guess, so long as that means you either have a new one or someone else has an older one. I wish there was an easier way to review old conversations from here. But I like that the verbs have an underline. Maybe this isn't worship, maybe this is help. Executive got a new one, so you got his. Hey, that still counts. That's still progress. Okay, let's head to the church, because we have the lens now. So maybe we could put that in to solve some of these puzzles. So what does this say? I think God is not dead. Is that what it just said? Is it talking about the 2013 movie? Ah. So man sees the devotee. Devotees see God. So I had the right idea, I just didn't have the last key to actually, Oh, wait, what did that say? God sees instruments? Creature helps man. Okay. So I'm beginning to think that the, what I thought was the symbol for C is not in fact C, but is in fact or like. So human likes devotee, devotee likes God. Preacher helps man, God likes instrument. Nope. Feel very close. Yeah, I've seen Heaven's Vault. I've thought about playing it at some point. Okay, so I had those backwards, up and free. So I just need to figure out what the actual relationship of these last four is. There's definitely some clues in the cemetery, I think. Are you seeking God? The church speaks, calls to you. This game is very accurate on how translation goes sometimes. God likes us. Well, maybe it's love? Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want to change this to help. Change this one to C. No? How do you know if your translation is correct? So it'll lock in. So you see how these circles are white? These ones are black and grayed out. It will change once you have your translation. It'll also correct you. So like, I had up, it said also stands for great. Let's review this conversation. Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. This is my first time seeing it, but I've seen Junie and Hal playing it. And then I learned it was like Tower of Babel Tower of Babel reference. I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, so okay, we can't go up. Devotee, close the door. Let's seek the key. Okay, so we have all of that. Let's do a little sneaky sneak back down this way. Saves? Could be. I'm gonna just kind of circle back to this area, see what I can find. Devotee not... Oh, okay, yeah. So love, like... Okay, so that one I think we're right on. Call I'm good with, I think. So let's try save just really quickly. Yeah, I don't think... I think there's still an element missing. You found me. Yes, yes I did. I'm not free. I'm going to the Abbey. Bye. Okay. Touch? Ooh, could be touch. Reminiscent of the icon of Jesus pulling out. Yeah, the harrowing of hell. It's a great icon. No, it's not that. Unless... I think we have a symbol in the wrong spot as well. I think that's not helping. Because it won't click until you get all the symbols in the right spot. You seek me, follow me, yep. You did that. Yeah, icon out front for Pascha. Nice. That seems appropriate. You found me. Yes, I did. Yes, I remember that. Let's talk to these guys up here again. Now that we know a bit more, we may understand. Don't go to the door. The warriors locked the door. God is good. Or on high. We want to go up. You something us. Maybe that's C. You watch us? Skate is triggering your language nerd. Yep. Just another week till we celebrate Cinco de Jesus. That's amazing. I love that. I hope you have a wonderful Pascha, Brayherd. Okay. Let's change this to... Nope. God is on high. We want to go up. Warriors are not devotees. Warriors have locked the door. Yep, got all that. Brayherd is Eastern Orthodox, and so that's when they're celebrating Easter, or Pascha. God, speak to me, call me. Okay, that tracks. And so, you know, Easter on Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Jesus. Okay, warrior closing the door. Devotees seek God, something on high. Men become devotees. God calls humanity? That's what I guess. So people, something, plants dying. Oh, you know, I remember the there's kind of an interesting subject or verb subject order in this language when God is present. Whenever God is present, God is... No, that's not even necessarily... No, yeah, that's true. Like, God tends to be more towards the front of these sentences, I think, as a sign of devotion. Because normally it is following a pretty standard sort of English subject, like noun, verb order. But you'll notice this. So it's humanity calls upon God. That's what's going on here. Because the plants are dying. So they're praying. Yeah, sometimes these controls mess up my brain. Yeah, there's step 0. I could use a hint. Chants? It would be fitting for the game. The game is pretty lenient on what words you choose, fortunately. And, like, calling it, and then, like, going, oh, yeah, you were close enough. Got the ideas right, but symbols are completely out of order. Well, help me with the symbols, then. Because I'm getting mixed up, and I'm going all over the place, and I'm getting more mixed up. Where does my macaroni noodle go? Okay, so I was right on that one. We got there. Yeah, that one was confusing because there were points where it's like, this could be C, but it could also be like. And I could have kept looking around, but you know what, for the sake of chat, or sake of viewing, thank you for the help, step 0. I'm not a devotee. Okay, so now we need to go look for the preacher. Yeet. Unfortunately, the warrior word for devotee and the word for what you are translates to the same. That's not surprising because the warrior is above both of us. So why would you have different words? So I think this is the last puzzle. So something involving the preacher statue, I guess. Did I solve it? No, we're working on it. So God sees us. So there's person, devotee, preacher. Yeah, I guess it could be translated as watches over us. And then we have this message. I found the lens. The lens found God. I'm going to the cemetery. I'm going up. The preacher. Oh, okay, so the man looks at the devotee looks at God. Okay, okay. I get where that hint comes in. Yeah, I got the word. Because whenever it'll show up in italics whenever you don't have it, but if you have it, it shows up just normal. Boom, we got there. Am I going to start a fire down here? Yes. Yes, I am, apparently. Oh, look at that lighting. Oh, good, a maze. Well, let's follow the right-hand rule. Oh dear. That's a problem. Take back one, Kadam. Yes. I was actually thinking of the same thing. Help! 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 The preacher's dead. Help! Panic! Panic. Help! Tower police! I would like to report a crime. Did I forget the breadcrumbs? Usually. I ate them all. I had to do something to get the ketchup-flavored candy taste out of my mouth. I'm now extra scared of the mac and cheese and sour cream and onion candy canes. I'm not gonna lie. This game looks so good. And it's so simple. Look at that column in the background. Ooh. We've made it into the warrior barracks, it looks like. So I'm gonna guess that means warrior. Anakin is cheered with 300 vets. I'm gonna finish this thought. I'm gonna think this is God, because it's very similar to the other symbol for God. That or this is God and this is warrior. Either way, they're interchangeable. One means one, the other. Never have I wanted a Barnett's Mega Sour candy more than right now. Wheel of Pain, turn, turn, turn. Tell me the lesson that I should learn. Oh. I mean, it's still not exciting. Brew Candy, Hoppy IPA. My candy drawer smells like, which is a sentence I can say. You want mac and cheese? Well, 300 is a roll on the wheel. And the wheel said, Hoppy ear candy. Which tastes like soap, so I'm still not thrilled about it. And also, the pickleballs aren't even on the list anymore, Gale. Oh. They got the bitterness of hops, but literally nothing else. But my candy drawer smells like rancid fried chicken. No, 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 no. So there must be another way in, because just going down the stairs. Hello, other way in. Warriors don't like death. Death loves warriors. Okay. So the problem is, though, that I don't necessarily immediately know what's what. Like, because it probably follows a different grammatical structure. Also, neither of these appear to be present, but this is both plural, so maybe this is still warrior and this is warriors. And then spiky thing could be death. Or it doubled as warriors. Well, no, right, on the here it's warrior warrior, but on the outer one it's a different script. But it's warriors don't like death. Death likes warriors. So the common symbols is kind of like the A-shaped thing, the Z-shaped thing. So by process of elimination, this is the negative or don't. Like, that kind of has to be. But I don't know enough other context. Some glyphs can be linked to equivalent glyph in another language, even if not yet translated. Oh, interesting. So that's death. I'm guessing. I guessed correctly. It is a bit of a Rosetta Stone, and fortunately this thing helps me. So this was love. That's warrior. So this is not warrior at all. So it could be God. In fact, I'm going to hazard, since it was the highest symbol, I'm going to say this is God for them. Just put something in as a placeholder. So there's this. Oh, you know what? This is. This symbol here is a multiple. Look. So it's warriors don't like death. So it's multiple warrior, not love death. And death love multiple warrior. That's what that squiggle means. I sure hope these aren't save points. But I'm gonna activate it just to be safe. But look at that, we're moving up. So there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're on the third of 10 areas. So... I don't know what that means, unfortunately. So I cannot help. But I think that's going to be the perfect place to call it for the day. So, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. This beer candy still is terrible. At least it's tolerable, though. This ketchup candy just was not. But yeah, join us again next week on Monday for more RPG Monday with KOTOR, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Tuesday, we're going to have one more Super Mario 64 stream. I have a fun thing in mind for that. Should be a blast. And then Spirituality Thursday, more Chants of Sennaar. So good to see everyone. Thank you for the likes, the bits, the follows, the subscribes, all that good jazz. So glad to have y'all to be here, be a part of this community. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Why don't we go ahead and see who's live to raid? Gonna send you on over to Junie. Feel like we haven't raided her in a while. Classic raid call, especially for her. She's the one who made Meep, so let's spam some Meeps for her. So I'll send you all over. Take care and God bless.